right. How we doing, everybody? How we doing in the chat? What time is it? Come on, let me see. What time is it? What time is it? I see it. There you go. It's time. That's right. Now let me see. I don't know if this works. Do you guys see the chat right around here? Right here? Do you guys see the chat? Like, give me a yay or nay on that one. But it is time for the 11th time. And yeah, y'all are on screen now. Be behaved, or I'll take you off screen. I'll take you off and behind the woodshed. Welcome in for the post-race show for the 2025 Slim Jim 200. I might need a Slim Jim. Yeah, y'all are in the video. You're all on there. Behave. Yes. And the great part is I can put you on screen too, and it'll still, it'll adjust accordingly. Might kind of screw up the super chat cooldown lap, but whatever. We'll go with that. Let me know what you thought of the race. Out of 10, what would you give this race? 10 being the best truck race you've ever seen, 1 being the Phoenix finale from a couple years ago. I want to know what you think. We got a 5.2, 6, 7, 10, 6.11 or 6.11, 4.5, 4, 6, 4, 6, 6.11, 5. I think that's probably where a lot of people, I'm noticing where a lot of you guys are starting to sort of, tone out on this one. It was all right. There were good parts, and I think there were bad parts. There was really dumb mistakes that you expect out of the truck series. And then, of course, Corey Heim wins again. Real quick, this race also, I believe, I don't have the exact laps on me. But it was, it went on to 1 overtime, 11 cautions for 75 laps. Jesus. 10 lead changes and 1 hour, 49 minutes, 47 seconds is the time of race. I gotta see, because I believe it went 2 laps over. So of the regular distance that it was supposed to go, how much of this race percentage-wise of the scheduled distance, 37.5% of the scheduled distance was run under yellow tonight. So definitely, I think what we expected out of this race. Corey Heim gets the win after leading 77 laps. Might not have had the best truck, but ran the cleanest and best race. And it's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane how good he is this year. I don't think anyone, regardless of what happens next week, I don't think anyone is going to see any other driver as worthy for this championship than Corey Heim. I think Heim has put himself in such a different league this year that even if you dislike the guy, you got to say the dude deserves it more than anybody else out there. He has been insanely good, led in every single race this year, 11 wins. This is his 22nd win on all time too, which ties him for 6th all time with Todd Bodine. So regardless of what happens next week, I think he is probably one of the favorites, but again, he got in well before, but Heim is in with Majeski, Ankrum, and Honeycutt. Honeycutt getting in on a tiebreaker with Lane Riggs, who in my opinion was probably the best competition for Corey Heim heading into this race for most of the season. Majeski defending his championship, going to be really, really tough to beat as well. They've really turned it on as the end of this season has come into effect. Ankrum, I think, is the lowest of them, honestly, performance-wise. But if it comes down to fuel mileage, he could win it too. And it very well could, depending on what happens. Plus, there could be just absolute madness like Phoenix. Honeycutt, I think the sentimental favorite after what happened with Stuart Friesen. Honeycutt comes home second. That second place finish was the difference of his tiebreaker with Lane Riggs. Riggs, of course, coming home third right behind him. Brent Cruz, great run, great effort, 4th place finish tonight. And Corey LaJoie with a top 5 on the night. The 77 finishes in the 5th position. Chandler Smith in 6th, 7th Ty Majeski after being bounced off of every wall and every truck possible. Tanner Gray in 8th, 9th is Ankrum. and then Butterbean in 10th. Top 10 for Brendan Queen. Ruggiero, defending winner from the past week, 11th. Enfinger in 12th. Jack Wood, 13th. 14th is Rhodes. And Starpoli, 15th. 16th, Timmy Hill. Spencer Boyd in the 17th spot. Garcia, Sutton, and Carroll round out the top 20. And then from there, Bailey Curry, Connor Jones, Frankie Muniz, top 23 on the lead lap. From there, 69, nice truck of Casey Mears, 2 laps down, 24th position. Logan Bearden in the 25th spot. Tony Breidinger, 26th. So 25th -6 for Bearden, -7 for Breidinger. Mills, 9 laps down in 27th, and Perez in 28th, 14 laps down. The rest were out. Matt Craft in 29th, Connor Mosack 30th, 31st, Daniel Hemrick. An abysmal night for him in just about every possible way. Waller in 32nd. The GOAT, Norm Benning, 33rd place finish tonight. Raja Caruth, his championship bid ends with a 34th place finish after crashing with a flat tire. And Clayton Green, 35th, last. We'll put that on the screen there. Looking back at this race, man, I got to say, there's, I think, a lot of good and bad. And I think one of the things that a lot of people are, you got to kind of come to a grips with is that this race and Phoenix next week, if we have short runs to the finish, it's the truck series. With this format, you're going to get this kind of racing. Lane Riggs, I got something, a little bit to say about Lane Riggs real quick. Lane Riggs, almost every race this year, has spent post-race interviews complaining about how everybody else drives, about how everybody else makes mistakes. It's happening more as the season goes on. And to a degree, he's right. But for someone who complains about people making so many mistakes and people not racing correctly, and I get after the race like, I really didn't want to race like that. Well, we all have a choice. We got a choice, Lane. He tends to sort of talk out of one side of his mouth and then act out of the other. Now, I get it. You're racing for your season and all of that, but just the some of the dumb mistakes he tends to make on a regular basis, the way that he races people, the way he wouldn't want to be raced, these are the things that are holding him back. Like whether it be the missed shift, whether it be slamming people into the wall, whether it be sending people from 3 car lengths or 3 truck lengths back. He does this a lot. And tonight it caught up with him. The mistakes, the damage, probably the he held himself back in a lot of ways. And I think that as you go next year and the years start, coming and they don't stop coming, he'll probably learn and I think he'll get better. But I found it very ironic tonight that his actions almost cost 2 of his other playoff competitors, cost 1 for sure with Hemrick, but almost cost Majeski by basically self-clearing himself. It's just kind of funny to me. Because it feels like every other week this season I've heard him, these veterans just they tell us we have to race this way, and then they race worse than me, and they race worse than us, and wow, they keep making these mistakes, and I get screwed out of them. It's like, well, I mean, Clayton, you're a truck series driver too, and your name isn't Corey Heim, so you're kind of doing this stuff too. I found it very ironic tonight. And I do think that he was probably the best overall competition this year for Heim to win the championship. And I think it really helps. I think it helps him and Majeski a ton not having the 34 in there, because I do think he would have the speed to challenge both of them. I think it's 11 versus 98 heading into next week. I guess I could leave a poll on this one. We have so many extra widgets now. I keep forgetting that I can use some. So I'm just gonna put a poll up for you in the chat, and you let me know, who is your champ pick. Is it the 11? Is it the 98? Is it the 52? Or is it the 18? And just vote away. Do you think that Heim closes it out? Do you think that Majeski defends? Or do you think the other two play spoiler? Do you think something happens to the favorite? Do let me know. It should be Corey Heim. I mean, he should have probably had it locked up like 2 weeks ago or 2 races ago. Looking at some of the other stuff that happened, though, you did from the get-go, I think the tone of this race was sent when Matt Crafton was 3 wide, kind of gets hit, sends Perez out of 4 on lap 7. And then you have a caution right after for fluid on the track, which Fox, of course, the booth didn't know what was going on. I forgive me. Having a 5-month-old at home makes it tough to watch even the minimal pre-race they do give us. Were they remote? Because it felt very remote in the broadcast. It felt like they were on tape delay, in all honesty. But they didn't know, for instance, what was causing the caution at given times. At different points, they messed up on the lap of the choose. They're like, wow, there's a lot of them that are going over the cone right now. Yeah, why are they in Charlotte? Martinsville is like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Charlotte. This is this whole thing that I talked about last week, and it's a whole thing I talked about on Wednesday on NWP. Is this the fact that I want effort, which, by the way, this Wednesday, NWP on my channel. So subscribe if you're new. We have plenty to talk about with that, just from the trucks alone. Yeah, it's low effort as per usual. But you saw like that stop and go. Hell, Norm got spun. Great save by Norm Benning. Even though I'm going to be honest, he kind of cut across the nose of Butterbean. That was on Norm. But he was just testing to make sure that they were paying attention. That's the excuse I'm going to use. But that first stage to me, it really set the tone of the rock'em sock'em kind of fight it was going to be tonight. The constant stop and go. You did get a bit more of a rhythm later in the race in some runs. But it really, to me, I was like, it's going to be one of those kind of nights. And I think tomorrow night, and we'll be live after the Xfinity race too. But for the Xfinity Series race, I think it's going to be the same thing. You're going to know probably in the first 40 or so laps what the tone of that race will be. Cup, it's a little better because they're really good. But the first stage is pretty much where I knew this race was going to be a bit of a cluster. In that first stage, Heim won it. Majeski got some good points, 9 stage points in the first stage. Enfinger up there. Ankrum got 7. Big deal for him. He had a great restart to get him up there and get those points. And he got 2 more points than Riggs. Honeycutt got 1 less point, but he stayed, kind of in the fight there. They get it back going stage 2. Raja Karuth has contact with Honeycutt, cuts down his left rear tire. Nothing he could do with the amount of time that he knew. Spins it, crashes it up into turn 1. No one really at fault. That's just incidental contact at Martinsville. It reminds me so much of what happened here in the spring. It reminds me of that old Bristol race where Jeff Gordon cut a tire off of the tailpipes of Dale Earnhardt Jr. And all of them, I think, are just, that's racing, man. It's racing at Martinsville at short tracks. And sometimes you hit just wrong, but it ended Raja's season. Coming into this race, I really didn't expect Raja to advance. I again, friend of the channel and of NWP of the show and all, love Raja. Known him. I think I've known Raja longer than I've known just about any driver in any of the circuits. But that team has been just a bottom of the top 10 to like a mid-teens team this year. And they kind of got stuck back there a little bit again. They were decent, but they were, that first stage, he finished 9th, and that was right around where he was running when him and Honeycutt made that contact. You get stuck basically anywhere outside of the top 4 or 5 in trucks, you're going to kind of be in the middle of a hornet's net at a hornet's nest at any point. And unfortunately, he was in that one. The second stage, though, was, I think, it was a nice return to what the race should have been, a little more clean. Heim swept the stages, shocker. Swept the stages, won the race. I think Riggs got the fastest lap, which kept him in contention. And he got good stage points, but so did Majeski, who was right ahead of him. And Ankrum got 5 more there, and that was able to pad a bit for him. Same with Honeycutt getting 3 in that stage. The stage points really made a huge difference, right? When Majeski makes it by 1 point, if him and Riggs are swapped, Lane Riggs is in, and Majeski is tied with Honeycutt, and I believe Honeycutt would have had the tiebreaker in that because of the finishes because of this race in particular. That was the difference. So say, I am not pro stage caution, right? But I've come around to the stages, and you can't say, especially later in the year, they don't matter. When that 1 point Majeski had over Lane Riggs, that was the difference of both of their seasons right there. And the shift too. I mean, Riggs, I think, had the fastest truck out there tonight for most of the race. And he got set back by his own mistake. And that was what cost him the race. We get it back going in the final stage here. You got a fight with Cruz and Ruggiero. Brent Cruz, he has been showing a lot of promise at this last juncture of the season. And he showed it again tonight. Even through all the cautions, even with lesser tires, he was able to compete up front in the top 5, lead a bunch of this race. And depending, because you had Breidinger and Waller, which Waller tries to go over the curb and gets stuck, which I found funny as hell, trying to get to the pits. But you have those two going out. You have Gio Ruggiero sending Mosak, and through that, 15 to go is where the final pass for the lead happens tonight. Heim and Cruz are racing each other side by side for the lead, back and forth. And it just was a matter of, with, I believe, 13 to go, Bailey Curry brings out a caution. Fox shockingly does not know why. And Heim at that moment was ahead at the moment of caution. That was the difference. And he had more restarts from there. Connor Jones getting sent around. Decent race, honestly. I know a lot of y'all don't like Connor Jones, but he ran pretty decent tonight and kept his nose mostly out of trouble until trouble found him. But that restart and the moment of caution, that was what cost Cruz the race, got Heim the lead at the right moment. But I would say it was a great way to race the best one out there of this season. And I think it showed a ton of promise, and I can't wait to see what else he can do. I'll say that for sure. On the restart with 9 to go, Majeski was falling fast. He got basically ran up into the wall by Lane Riggs. Major damage. Ankram's ascending at this point. If it wasn't for that crash with Connor Jones, I think Majeski is out for sure on this one. But they get it back going in overtime. Heim gets the jump. It's just the battle for second and third behind him. And at the end, Honeycutt gets second. Riggs does get third, but he runs out of time. And it's Heim time, man. It's Heim time. But I'll say, man, I don't know. The only thing that'll help NASCAR if Heim doesn't win next week from the wrath of the fans is going to be the fact that it's a truck series. That's the truck race. And that, they'll bank on, only 500,000 people at most will watch. That's probably like what they're banking on. Like, okay, maybe we won't get that much of an explosion. But this season by Corey Heim, I mean, it's just been, it in the context of the history books, it's been immeasurable of just how good Corey Heim and this 11 team have been. Now, yeah, sure. If he's in a different truck, he probably isn't having this type of season. But, I will, on my end here, I'll pull up his season so far. And it has been nothing short of damn near perfect, outside of a few blemishes here and there. He won Daytona, granted off a bit of a, controversy with the post race. 23rd at Atlanta, wins Vegas, then 3rd, 6th, 3rd, 8th, win at Texas, 3rd, 17th at Wilkesboro, going for the win after leading 162 laps, wins it at Charlotte, 2nd, 18th and 23rd, Michigan and Pocono. That was the low point of the season. Since that happened, win, 3rd, win, 3rd, win, 2nd, win. It's just insane. We've been talking all summer, rightfully so, about Connor Zilich's run. Holy hell, the run that this 11 team has made. They have not finished lower than 3rd since what? The middle of June. June 20th was the last time they finished outside the top 3. They have led laps in every single race this year. I mean, just insane numbers, a 46% clip for win percentage this year. He has finished all but 4 laps, led 1,525 laps with a 5.2 average finish, 75% of the races top 5, 83% top 10. I mean, historic is underselling it of just how good they've been. And they get another win. They're going to bring that momentum into Phoenix. But the thing is that the way that the system rolls, momentum does not matter at all. It doesn't. It does not matter any of the momentum he has. It does not matter anything he has done in the first 24 races of this season. And people wonder why there's going to be a change next year. Regardless of what it is, there will be a change. I'm just amazed by this season. Whatever happens, I'm going to appreciate the absolute living hell out of what he has done this year. Whether he finishes first or fourth or anywhere in between, it has been an amazing year. And for all of you that have come out every week and chilled with me after the race talking, and I see you all in the chat, you know, like we witnessed history, regardless of what happens next week at Phoenix. We'll know this time of night roughly what has happened, but we witnessed history this year, and that can't get taken away. From there, though, I mean, I do think next week it is. I think it's going to be between the 11 and the 98, and I think that it really, really bodes well for the 98 of Majeski. Especially, I think the 18 of Ankrum can be up there. I think Honeycutt can be up there, and I think Heim will definitely be up there challenging. But I do think that Ty Majeski is the favorite heading into next week because just of the track, of how this team has been coming on and surging towards the end of the year, especially at these types of tracks, the speed they've been gaining through the last couple months. If I just You just ask me right now, who do I think is winning it? And I see you guys and all the votes you've put in there, and I see you guys heavily on the Heim time train. But I might be with that 11% of you right now. I think that 98 is the favorite going in. I think it lines up really, really damn well. I think the 11 has been a little even with that great run. The numbers don't exactly show that it has been very tough for the 11 compared to the start of the year to get those top 3 finishes. And if it comes down to a late race restart, I'm expecting absolute idiocy. Absolute idiocy. If gun to my head right now, if you're telling me who to pick, I'm going Ty Majeski. But anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. We'll see for sure. And while it's technically not, that's great. We have like all these new little things to pop up and new graphics. It's technically not a super chat stage break, more a super chat cooldown lap. I do want to see what you guys say. I'm paying attention to the chat. But let's look at what you guys have said on the super chats. I thank you guys also for waiting for me and letting me babble for a bit. Joshua Boston left 5 here saying Caden Honeycutt to the Final 4 and getting Rookie of the Year, baby. Woo! Underdogs for the win. Good luck at Phoenix 52 team. I think they'll have a decent shot. I think if I'm power ranking them right now, it is 98, 11, 52, 18. Bailey said, don't you love it when a guy with check notes 4 top 5s competes for a championship over the second best truck all season? That's just the system we live in. I don't like it either. Hey man, I'm still on that full season mode, but if it doesn't happen, something that can help the best be more upfront. Looking at some of the others y'all sent, Philip says we might have to actually take the chat off for a moment so we can. I don't want to be like having somebody like up here in front of me. It says gutted for Riggs, but ecstatic for Honeycutt. It's awesome to see someone from the same town you live in make the championship 4 go 52. Well, that is actually really awesome. That is really cool. I mean, that to be fair, like I kind of get it. Like I'm from the same town as Chad Knaus, originally came from. I actually played high school football against the high school that he went to, because if he didn't go with them to school, I know my dad at least knew of him, or at least had told me. I think my dad went to school at Chad Canals. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Creston says, what's worse, Heim loses the championship or Zilich loses the championship? I'm just happy as a Honeycutt fan he made it. I would say Heim. I think Heim has been so much more dominant on a whole season. But I think it would both be really bad. It'd be a bad look if both of them, who have been all in all the best out there, ended up losing it. I think both of them are the only ones in their respective series deserving enough. But we'll find out. Reverend Shemal Stewart says, is Heim the greatest Truck Series driver ever? I'm going to go Kyle Busch on that one, but I do put him on the Mount Rushmore. I don't care what happens next week. I know that people are like, he has to have the championship. To me, championships really don't mean as much anymore as the raw numbers of wins, top fives, top tens. I would put him, especially in the era too, that it's so much more equal of the trucks now. I would put him in on the Mount Rushmore for sure. Jeffrey King says, I've always said champions are legitimate no matter what format NASCAR gave, but tonight 2 0-win drivers made it over 3-time winner Lane Riggs. Yeah. I don't blame the drivers at all. Evergreen says, it's crazy that Heim is a blown brake rotor or lemon battery away from not being a champion. I like playoffs in theory, but this is an absurd system. I think it's a fair assessment. I think it's a very fair assessment. Keenan says, don't like how it goes down, especially with the points racing at the end between Caden and Lane, but hey, got to play by the rules, I guess. Yeah, I don't blame either of them. I don't blame any of the drivers. It's not the drivers. It's on NASCAR. Jeffrey says tiebreaker needed to be total wins, not best. I'm assuming you mean best finish in the round. Probably, wins matter, right? I mean, they definitely matter for Heim. He's absurdly amazing this year. Another one from Evergreen says, on a happy note, how about Norm coming back hot and ready like a Little Caesars classic pepperoni? He outran Raja, a playoff driver. Hashtag I stand with Norm. That was a nice little save he had, even if he was the one that cost it. Yeah, man, I'm glad he's all right. And I reject what Corey LaJoy said that he needs to hang it up. No, keep going, Norm. Go forever if you have to. Like, however long you have to stay. Jeffrey King with a couple here saying, pulling for Heim and wins and consistency. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are rooting against Heim simply for the chaos. And then Jeffrey King also says, Heim at Gibbs or HMS is almost certain. You would think, but probably not, honestly. He's in the Toyota tree. Next year, it sounds like something is developing or maybe announcing soon, or at some point very soon. I don't think he leaves Toyota. And the Gibbs side, I don't know what it is, man. I totally don't know what it is. Wink, wink. Young Money says, was the Xfinity fastest lap added to Riggs or no? I think that was included. Yes. I think he got that. So I think that's included with it. And that's why also was so close. And the Keyshawn says, only thing stronger than Heim is how ass Fox is. Yeah, I'm one more week, man. One more week. We have 5 races to go total in the season. We got one damn Fox race left. So I guess that's a positive. I love how all the NFL fans like this past few weeks and this season have been like, wow, Fox has gotten really bad. And all of us NASCAR fans, like that meme with like, Franco, where he's, has the noose around him and he's just like first time. Like, baseball fans have been suffering with this. NASCAR fans have, IndyCar fans have. Like it, we were all the canary in the coal mine, and now everyone sees it. Yeah, I don't know much more to say that I haven't said for the past 8 years now. And Andrew says, my high school classmate is in his second Final Four. Heim time. That's awesome. That's actually really cool. I can't say I was classmates with anyone that made it big in NASCAR. Like, but hey, man, he's got a 25% chance of winning next week. Maybe a little bit more because he clinched beforehand. So maybe they'll have that extra time. But regardless of what happens next week, it is going to be worthy of talking about. So subscribe if you're new. We do this after every single race. I know there's only 5 left, but there is a whole season next year full of it, of racing. And we'll be here for all of it. We'll be live before the Cup race and after on Sunday, live after the Xfinity race. And I guess, should I have a little fun with it? And Jeffrey King says Heim 54 would win races and Cup. I don't know about what right away, but I think long term, yeah. And I guess maybe I should just where's that? Yeah, we'll just, there we go. Now we're set for the Xfinity race tomorrow. How about that? We will be live. And hey, really cool thing Xfinity had talked about is for their final race at Phoenix, they're actually going to have it be commercial free for the final stage. No side-by-side, no full screen, just pure full-blown racing coverage from the green flag of the end of the green flag of the last stage to the finish of the Xfinity Series era, not season, era next week. I think it's a really nice gesture and a really good way for them to end out. No other people are complaining that it should have been like that forever. I'll take what we can get as we go. I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for the race tomorrow, even though I think it's probably going to end up being a cluster as well, at least at the finish. I love Martinsville. So what can I say? With that, just remember, we will be live tomorrow for Xfinity Series post-race. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. I don't know, maybe go sleep. We'll see. So till then, have a good one, guys. Later.